jump right into it. This is Ramel with the Jax Tutor. And let me share my screen. Share entire screen. Application window. This window. Uh, Share this. Okay. So I think you guys are able to see my screen. And so what we have here in front of us is Chevy Malibu. Where is the live stream on YouTube? I can't find it. So go to YouTube right now. I just shared it. So right now you should be able to see it. So you should be able to see it, Chevy Malibu. That should be on YouTube right now. So right now it's live. So we're doing ACT and SAT math prep. The first question that we have here is if we have a line drawn above that is translated to the left, 3 units to the left, and also 6 units down, what is the slope of the new line? So now, one thing you got to understand is when you're doing things in the ACT and SAT, it's important to be fast, and being able to be fast comes down to knowing a bunch of technique and tricks that that you wouldn't normally use, and those questions, they make it easy for you. That's the concept. They make them easy enough where you can, if you apply the right technique, you should be able to solve those under 1 minute, and that's what we're going to do here. So now, is 28 a good score for the ACT? I would say it's a very good score. It depends on what school you're going to. If you're going to Harvard, it may not be. It may not, but it's a pretty good score for most schools. I think 28 is a good score for most schools. Congrats on having a 28 on the ACT. That's what's up. All right, cool. So we have a line, and they give us 2 points on the line. It looks like this point, the first point is right here. Oops, that's not what I'm trying to use. The first point is right here, as you can see, and then the second point is right here. They give us those 2 points. They ask us for the slope of a different line that is translated 6 units to the left, 3 units to the left, and then 6 units down. So what they do, they take this line and they move it 3 units to the left and then 6 units down. They ask us, hey, what is the slope of the new line? Now, this is what we need to understand is when you have a line that is translated up, down, to the left, to the right, the slope of the new line is the same as the slope of the original line, because you translate it, because it's translation. You're not really changing the slope. So all you're doing is moving the line up and down. The slope still stayed the same. So whatever line you're going to end up with is a line that is parallel to the original line. And as you know in your algebra class, parallel lines have the same slope. So all we have to do here is find the slope of the original line. We don't even have to translate this line on the exam. So all we have to do is find the slope of the original line. So what is the slope of this line? So first, we know 1 point. Let's call this point A, and let's call this point B. We know 1 point here has the coordinate of, it looks like x is equal to point A, and I'm referring to this point as point A. It looks like, and then I'll label B in red so you guys can understand what's going on. I'll label B, which is this point. I'm going to label it in red, and point B. So point A, what is the coordinate of point A? Who can tell me the coordinate of point A? On TikTok or YouTube, Facebook? Let's see. Yo, I found it. That's what's up. That's what's up. And aim it. All right, so Amy, can you tell me the coordinate of the point A, as you can see it on the screen right now? So we have point A, and so what we're looking for, the x coordinate of point A is x is equal to 0, and the y coordinate of point A is 5, right? What about point B, guys? Can you tell me what's the coordinate of point B? If you can see the screen on Facebook and on YouTube, actually, YouTube. Just go to YouTube. That's the easiest way to see it. What's the coordinate of point B? Let's see. Point B. I see you guys on YouTube. What's the coordinate of point B? Point B. And as you can see here, and let me show you, this is 0. If this is 2, halfway in between 0 and 2 is 1. And then if this is 2 here, halfway in between 2 and 4 is 3. So what you see, you have a x coordinate that is 3 and a y coordinate that is 1, correct? So 3, 1. And we put the x coordinate first, as you know from your algebra class, and then you put the y coordinate. That is y is equal to 1. Now, how do we find the slope? The slope is, rise over run. Now, another way that you could do this that's probably easier and faster too, if let's say you say, hey, you know how to do the rise over run on the line. From what you can see on the line, you can do it that way. But a more accurate way to do it is, to have the points, know the points, and then find the slope. So when we find the slope, difference in the y value is divided by difference in the x value. So what is the difference in the y values? I have one value, one of them is equal to 5, one of them is equal to 1. I'll take the difference of all those. So how do we find that? Is the slope, let's call it m. I don't know why m always stands for slope. I have no idea. It might be coming from another language. So, and in this case, you can start with A or you start with B. You're always going to end up with the same. Let me use my mic. I don't know why I'm not using it. You can start with A or you start with B. You're always going to end up with the same slope. So the y coordinate of the point A, which is 5, minus the y coordinate of the point B, which is what? What's y coordinate of B? Minus y coordinate of B, which is 1, divided by the x coordinate of the point A, which is what is the x coordinate of the point A? Which is 0, minus the x coordinate of the point B, which is 3. I'll double check and see if I did this right. So, all right, so it's I started with A, YA minus y coordinate of the point A minus the y coordinate of the point B. So I have 5 minus 1. X coordinate of the point A, 0 minus 3. And then that's what I have for the slope. And that equals to what, guys? What does that equal to? I'll move the screen maybe up a little bit. And that's what I'm dealing with. So what that equals to is m is equal to what? What do we get for m? M is equal to 5 minus 1 is 4. 0 minus 3 is negative 3. And that's the slope of the translated line. So now notice, if we doing this on the test, we don't have to translate the lines, like I said, because are you live somewhere else? Because I can see the screen. Yes, on YouTube. Go to YouTube, type the Jax Tutor. Or if you go to my profile on TikTok, you'll see a link to the YouTube channel, and that would lead you directly to the YouTube page. And that's where you'll be able to see the screen. TMAC 03. Yeah, bet. All right, so now that's the slope. No, so how do we solve for this? How did we solve for this? So the first thing we did is we recognized that, okay, if I want the slope of a line that is translated 3 unit to the left and then 6 unit down, it's gonna be the same slope as the original line that we have here on the screen. So what I did is I said, okay, I know the slope of the original. I can find the slope of the original line, and that will give me the slope of the translated line. Now, why? Because when you translate a line, however you translate it left, right, up, and down, it's still going to be parallel to the original line. And parallel lines, we know they have the same slope. So that's what I did for this one. And parallel lines have the same slope. And we found the slope to be negative 4 over 3. And the answer to that is the only one that resembles negative 4 over 3 here is B. That's it. That's all you have to do for this one. And I think, it's easy enough where you can do it in a few minutes. And that is not necessarily tough questions. And that's actually an SAT question. And if you guys are wondering, we're doing ACT and SAT prep today. Cool. Let's move on to the next one. How do we do that? All right. Let me see if I have another one. So any questions on this one first, guys? Let me see if you have any questions. Any questions on this one? Let me go and see if you guys have any questions. Negative 4 over 3. TikTok gang, what's up? Just wanted to appreciate your work. Thanks for helping students. No problem, Angel. All right, cool. 1024. What's going on? All right. So, yeah. Any questions, guys? No questions, Tim. That's what's up. Let's move on to the next one. This is more like a word problem, and not more like a word problem. This is actually a word problem. So, the way that I would do this is, read the problem and understand what they ask, and then trying to find a solution that closely relates to what they're referring to. So, let's read this together. So they say Catherine is performing a science experiment on the distance traveled by a snail. So she's trying to perform some kind of experiment on a snail. She sets the snail on her driveway and records the time it takes the snail to crawl to the end of her driveway. She uses the equation D is equal to 0.4 t plus 12, where D is the distance traveled in feet. And these are the stuff that are going to be important for us. D is the distance traveled in feet. T represent the time in minutes. Which of the following statements best represent the meaning of 12 in Catherine's equation? So now, what's the big equation that we have here? Is D is equal to 0.4 t plus 12. And that's the big equation that we have, 0.4 t plus 12. And that's the equation. That's the equation that she uses to find the distance traveled by the snail. And D is the total distance traveled. T is the time to take the snail to travel. So that means if T goes 0, we haven't traveled anywhere. We haven't started any time at all. T goes 1, that's the time is go to 1. However they say the time is, and let's see if it's in second, they say in minute. So T is go to 1, that means after 1 minute, this is the equation you would use to find the distance that the snail travel after 1 minute. T is go to 5. After 5 minutes, you would use this equation to find the distance travel. And that's what the whole equation is saying. It's a linear equation. It's not really that hard to understand. It says, hey, what is the distance travel? I give you the time, and I give you an equation to put the time in. What is the distance travel? Welcome, Maddie. Welcome, GM Maddie. Welcome, Ally Cats. Yeah, so now what do we do? So they ask us which of the following best represents the meaning of 12. What is 12 in this case? Before we even go to see what the solutions that they give us. Because usually if you think about it that way, it's easier for you to spot the solution. You don't even have to read all of them. You will know some of them don't even apply to what they're referring to. So T would be with 12, the number 12 would be what? Would be the time, would be the distance when time is equal to 0. Now, the distance, she set the snow on her driveway and records the time it takes the snow to crawl to the end of the driveway. So we starting at a starting position, it would be 12. The starting position is 12. So if I put 0 here for T, the 12 is still the starting position. So I'm going to start from 12, and then I'm going to add 0.04 for every minute, and that's the rate of change per minute. Now, okay. Let's go in the problem. So it says it would take the snail 12 minutes to reach the end of the driveway. Probably not really, because the end of the driveway, they didn't even tell us how long the driveway is. So this, we can rule out this one. And the second one say the snail begins 12 feet from the beginning of the driveway. Now let's pause on this, because we know that 12, like we said earlier, it says 12 is the starting position. It's the starting position where when time is equal to 0, we are at a distance of 12. So this is when time is equal to 0, this is where we start. We starting at 12, and then from there on we go, we add 0.04 for every minute. 0.4, not 0.04. For every minute. The snail travels the total distance of 12, which is no, because we don't know that, because they don't even tell us how long it takes the snail to travel. It's not right. The snails the snail traveled at a rate of 12 feet per minute. No, that's not the rate of change. The rate of change is whatever is in front of the variable, which is 0.4, 0.4 distance. That's how feet per minute. How far, I mean, the rate of change that we have here. So the 12 would be the actual starting position at the beginning of the driveway. So it's none of those. It's the only answer that we can say that makes sense here is choice B. Now, let me try to explain this in a different way for you guys to understand. So the first, when they say when Catherine is performing this experiment, she comes up with the equation of D, the distance traveled by the snail, is equal to 0.04 t plus 12. What does that mean in terms of linear equation is the 0.04 is the rate of change. How many, so for each minute, the snail is going to travel 0.04 feet. So if I put t is equal to 1, I'm going to have a 0.04. If I put t equal to 2, I'm going to have another 0.04 added to whatever we had before. 0.0, if I put t is equal to 3, I'm going to add another 0.04 to that time. So to that distance. So for each minute, I'm going to travel an additional 0.04 feet. Now, also, so what happened is when we're at zero, the snail haven't traveled yet, but the distance d is equal to, d is still equal to 12. So that means we had to start at a distance of 12 feet. So at a distance of 12 feet. And that's what they say. The snail begins 12 feet from the beginning of a driveway. And that's the only one that makes sense here. The other one don't make sense. So any questions on this? Let me see if you guys understand. Any questions? Yeah, it's B. Yeah, it's B. That's right, Tim. Yeah, I was right the first time. Yeah, it's B. It's not C. The only reason, the reason why C is not, it's not the total distance travel, because you're not, they don't give you actual total distance travel. To find the total distance travel, you would have to know the time that the snail travels, and they don't even tell us that. A is just the starting position, and that's what this number always going to represent. Is in if you have a linear equation that way. So even if you had a linear equation, like let's say the equation looked like d is equal to 3x plus 5, that the 5 would be the starting position, because at time 0, at x is equal to 0, which is when you start, you haven't started the time, or whatever you consider x to be. When you start at 0, you don't have any, this right here is still 5. So at 0, the snail, d is equal to 0.4 t plus 12. At time t is equal to 0, the snail was already 12 feet from the beginning of the driveway. So at that time, you already started at 12 feet. And that's what makes sense here in this case, because it's not the rate of change. That's why it's not D. It's not the total distance travel. It's not also the time travel, because in order for you to find the total distance travel, you would have to have how much time that it's traveled, because D, the distance, is a dependent variable in this case. So, all right. Now, how you keep going while having C? Thank you, Rick. All right, cool. So now let's move on to another question. Let me see. All right, there's no more questions. Tim, you good? All right, cool. Let's go. All right, so this one is a lot easier. I have when I solve equations that way, I have a different way that I do them, probably a little bit different than you guys, and that's how I learned them myself, and it works for me. I'll do it, the way that you guys normally do it, and then I'll do it my way. And if you think that's faster, you can use that too. So in class, this is how you. Yes, I do. For honors geometry, Melody, go to the link on my profile. You'll see. So the geometry course that you see, it's also honors too. So, You can use that, or that's more like that gives you the course and also gives you access to me. So this is just came out, it's just fresh. So you could probably use that, and just go to the link on the profile, on my profile on TikTok. I think it's on Instagram too. But since you're on TikTok, just go to the link on the profile, and that would help you with geometry honors. And it's yeah, no problem. Cool. So let's say that we have negative 2x plus 5, 2 minus 5 minus 2x. What's the value of x? So now you probably think that you probably think that that this is not an SAT question. This is actually an SAT question. It's actually an SAT question. Do I have advice for studying for Algebra 1 exam? Now, when it comes to exams, usually I say find the best way that you study. It's either, a lot of people study using notes. I could never study using my notes. It was just terrible. Using a book, reading, and some people just watch video. So find one of those that you study in the most, that helps you study the most. So what that you more comfortable with when you study, and that, so, and then pick that one, and then study that way, and then practice before the exam, the actual exam that you're about to take. Somebody asked about SAT. It's the same thing with SAT too. Find the best way that you study. Could be video, could be reading a book, watching a videos, or whichever way you find you study the best, and then try to learn the material that way, and then start practicing. The first time you practice without time, so that way you understand the concept, you understand how to do it. And the second cycles that you practice from there on is going to be timed. You can time yourself using a clock, a little watch, or timer on a computer or something like that. You time yourself, so that way you can do things under the exam condition. And that's normally how I study. So I find the best way for me to study, to learn the material. Now, after I learn the material, I start practicing. The first time I start practicing, because I don't know anything about the material, I practice under normal time. It could take me like 30 minutes to do a problem. I do it in 30 minutes. But under exam condition, you can't do that. So you have to find a way to familiarize yourself. So that takes time. If your exam is tomorrow, the best advice is go to sleep, try to take it tomorrow, and do your best. But if it's a few months from now, you have some time to practice and study it. Does that make sense? A NAS. All right, cool. I got a 1300 in the SAT, but my college wants a 1400, 1130. My college wants a 1400. Take it again, John. Take it again. That's all. You probably end up doing better this time because you already know what's in there. Take it again. It's every 2 months. So trying to give yourself some time to study and then take it again. That's what I would do. Okay, so let's go with this one. So we have -2, and I'm gonna do this two ways. So the first thing I would do here is -2x plus 5 is equal to 2 minus, and I'm just rewriting this for now, 5 minus 2x. And what I would do here is distribute that negative sign into over the terms in the parentheses. So what I would have here on the right is 2 minus 5, -1. I mean, negative 1 times plus positive 5, -5. Negative times another negative is a positive, plus 2x. And then -2x plus 5. Now, and the other thing that you can do here is, -2x plus 5. I distribute the terms over the terms in parentheses. So this is all that's left. So now what do we do with this one? So what can we do with this one? So I can combine these terms here because they are like terms. -2 minus 5 is -3 plus 2x And then on this side, I have negative 2x plus 5. Now, this is where you and I, you guys, you and I have, different ways to do this. Now, when I come to here, I have a different way to do it. Let me do it the way that you guys do on the left, and then I'll do it the way that I normally do it on the right. And it's a little bit different. So what you guys would do here, in this case, you would add, and let me rewrite this, negative 2x plus 5 is equal to negative 3 plus 2x. I honestly think the way that I do it is a little bit faster, but it depends how you learn it. So what you guys normally would do here is you would add 3 to both sides. Add 3. So what does that give you? Negative 2x plus 5 plus 3 is plus 8. Is equal to, that 3 is gone, 2x, right? And then after that, you would try to add negative 8 to both sides. Negative 8. What does that give you? So negative 8, positive 8, that's gone. So you would have negative 2x is equal to 2x minus 8, right? And then what you would do here is probably add negative 2 to both sides. And negative 2x, actually negative 2x, not negative 2. And these two terms would be gone. And so what you have here is negative 4x is equal to a negative 8, right? And then you divide both sides by 4. And you got x is equal to 2. X is equal to 2. And to verify this, let me make sure that I find the right answer. And plug 2 in here. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4 plus 5. That gives me 1. 1. Yeah. So 2 is the answer. Oh, actually, Jesus Christ. So if you're on Instagram, I just kicked the thing that holds the tablet. All right, cool. So 2 is the right answer. Now, here's another way that I do it. And I think it's a little bit faster, but you guys are used to something different. Let me use green, for example. So now when I have this equation right here, negative 2x plus 5 is equal to negative 3 plus 2x, what I would do is I would do this in 2 steps. I would move this to this side. So every time I move it, I just change the sign. And then I would move that to this side at the same time. So actually, no. Let me back up. Not this one. I would move the 2x to this side. So to have x. So everything that has x on them, I would move them to one side of the equality or inequality, whatever we're solving. And no, but what's going on? Stella, what's going on? So everything that have x, I would move it to one side of the equality. Everything that doesn't have x, I would move it to the other side of the equal sign. So in that 5 here, I'd move it to this side. So what I do here, so the negative 2x stays here. I'm moving 2x here. It went from this side. It's moving to the other side. That means this changes sign is going to be negative. It went from positive here. It's going to be negative on the other side. And every time, think about this as like the border. Every time you cross it, you change sign. So this 5, it was here. I'm changing it to the other side, which is the right side of equality. So that's going to be negative 5. And then I had a negative 3 here, negative 3. Now, negative 4x is equal to negative 8. And you can say you divide both sides by 4, by negative 4. Actually, it was negative 4, not 4. And then x is equal to 2. And that's how much time it takes me to solve this. I know for you guys, it might take you longer, but usually this is how I solve it. And then we'll find the same answer divided by negative in here, negative 4. We find the same answer, but I think the way that I do it is a little bit faster. But either way, you get the same answer. And yeah, any questions? So what's the answer that we're looking for? I think it's B, right? B is the one with the 2 in it. Yeah. And to check your answer, you can plug it here. negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. Negative 4. And this is what I'm doing. I'm plugging 2 here. 2 here. Negative 2 times the 2 is negative 4 plus 5, which is what? 1. And I'm plugging 2 here on the side. 2 minus 5 minus 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 5 minus 4 is 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 on both sides. That means 2 is the right answer. And that's the answer that we're looking for. And yeah. So I think, okay, Tim, you got negative 2. I got 2. Yeah, I got 1090 on the SAT. I'm looking for 1350. Tim, go at it again. Give it another shot. Because you're already familiar with the test, you'll be able to, you'll have a better chance this time around. Because you already know what's going on in it. Yeah. So, any questions, guys? Any questions? Concerns? All right. I'll answer any questions. Yes, no, maybe. All right, cool. I think this should do it. Oh, you didn't distribute the negative sign. It's 2, not negative 2. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I think this is it, guys. And I might let you guys go to sleep. And it was nice hanging with you guys. And I'll see you guys again next Tuesday. Now, very important. If you haven't had a chance to take advantage of this, do it. I'm giving people an opportunity to work with me personally on a closer. Let's say you're struggling with, you have a problem with math. I'm giving people an opportunity to work with me. So go to the link, and I think I may be able to send a link here. Hold up. Let me see if I can send a link. Let me see. Yeah, I might be able to send a link here. So if you're on TikTok, the link should be on the profile, on my profile. If you are on YouTube or Facebook, the link should be on there too. I just sent you guys the link. Go in there and see it. Yes, Tim. All right. Tim said he'll subscribe and hop on next Tuesday. Yeah, it's on Tuesday about 9:15 p.m. I start. So if you come here, it's gonna be, the same thing that we're doing here tonight. But yeah, if you haven't taken advantage of this, I am giving kids a chance to work with one-on-one. So if you need to, if you're having trouble with math, go to the link here. I just posted the link on YouTube and Facebook. And if you're on TikTok, it's the link in the bio. If you're on Instagram too, it's the link in the bio. Just go in there, and then this is actually pretty new. So I only released it last week to the kids in TikTok. I haven't. I think it was on Facebook too, but go in there. So the way it works is you have a chance to work with me personally, one-on-one. You can try this out for 7 days, and if you like it, you stay. If you don't like it, you just stop. But it's a chance for you to work with me one-on-one, and it's any math help that I'll be helping you with any math classes that you have. All from whatever grade level all the way up to college. So geometry, calculus, pre-calculus, algebra, middle school math, anything. So go check out the link, and that's it for tonight, guys. And I appreciate you guys coming by and hang out with me. I will catch you another time, and thanks. Bye.